Yes.
Gary's just talking about he making cheesy vinos for dinner last night, and Rachel was not happy about it.
Mate, cheesy beanos are elite, top tier. I would say cheesy beanos are one of my kind of go-to meals when I'm feeling a bit crappy or I just want something quick and good, if that makes sense.
Absolutely not.
Have you ever had beans
Disgusting.
on toast?
I hate beans. Beans freak me the
Oh,
fuck out.
really? Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense then.
Did you see my story?
Traumatized. Like
Did,
the texture, the feel. With
did you see my story yesterday?
the Greek yogurt on the
Oh
fucking
man.
bread.
Yeah. Uh, so I seen another PT in town put that up. Shout out Claire. And I was like, I seen it on a story. And I was like, that looks mad. I can't get my head around it. It looks aesthetically pleasing, but I just can't get my head around the fact that you've put yogurt on bread. And she's like, give it a go. Promise it'll change your life. And I was like, normally I'm not into that, but the macros are actually quite decent on it. So I quick story. I'd made overnight oats for myself, and I put it in the fridge, and I didn't realise that the fridge we currently have is freezing things by accident. So I took out my overnight oats and they were frozen. So I was like, right, well, I'm going to have to improvise. Whether I want to or not, I'm going to have to try and make something. So two slices of bread, yogurt mixed with protein, fired on a few berries on top of it, and yeah, two eggs on the side is the way she made it look on Instagram. Now, I butchered it because my eggs weren't great. They were too runny, so when I cut them in half, they just kind of fell apart. So I was like, that's not Instagrammable. But the yogurt on top of the bread, do you know what? Actually tasted pretty decent. I was
You
copping up.
flavoured it.
You what?
What flavour was it? This is actually giving me the fear.
Chocolate?
I didn't love chocolate.
Well, it was chocolate. So
White chocolate.
Okay.
no, that was just chocolate. Just chocolate. Um, any more questions about my flavourings?
Your protein through the yogurt was chocolate.
Yes.
The yogurt was
It
white.
really didn't look like in the photo.
I don't know. You can take that up with Trained by JP because that's his protein mix. I don't know.
It is. It is.
Um, but anyway, I had it, and actually, do you know what? If you like Nutella, it actually didn't taste too far off Nutella on top of your bread. Now, I copped a lot of stick because people were like, oh, you need to toast the bread. I was like, I thought about toasting it, and I was like, I don't like toasted bread. Do you know what? I've told you this. Shannon's going my head there. I was like, I've lost a few teeth this year, and I've still not got to the top list of the dentist. And right now, toasted bread gives me the fear for my teeth. So I'm like, I'll just keep my toast untoasted, but also toasting things degrades protein. So more protein in it if you don't toast it. There you are. Have that.
Oh, very interesting. I
Fuck
didn't
off,
know that. What
science.
happens? Here's a question for you, Kyle, Mr. Science Guy. I've actually done the whole Greek yogurt thing with French toast before.
Right.
Does that degrade any protein when you put it in a frying pan
Try
with
it.
some low calorie spray? Essentially, it's coated in eggs.
Right.
So you're cooking the eggs.
Are you cooking the yogurt though?
No,
Like your topping is the yogurt, but
yeah,
you're
yeah. So
cooking the
it's like
bread and the eggs.
it's French toast with some cinnamon and then yogurt on top. So it's like a dessert almost.
So you're asking me if you cooking eggs is degrading protein in eggs?
No, with the bread. The
Well,
bread
yeah.
and the eggs, aye. So if you might, aye.
To answer your question, yeah, but I was more being facetious being the word because realistically, the amount of protein that bread has in it is negligible anyway, so I wouldn't be using it as a primary energy source or a
No.
primary protein source. It's just more so, see when you ever see people like microwaving their overnight oats with protein in it, I'm
Mhm.
like, you've literally just killed all the gains in there. Don't be doing that.
Yeah. I
I
always
used to do that, so
I
every
used to
day's a
do it
school
as
day.
well. Yeah, I used to do it as well before I learned. So I do it anyone does now and add the protein in afterwards. It's a bit messier, but at least you're getting all the protein.
I'd say when people tell me they're like, "Oh, I don't like protein in oats," I'm like, "How are you making it?" And they're like, "Oh, I put the protein in there, I put it in the microwave." I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Aye.
That was
You
me.
should try the French toast with the yogurt. It's good. So see the eggs that you boiled on the side,
Yeah,
just coat the fucking bread and the eggs and stick it in a wee frying pan for a bit, and then it's like cinnamon. Perfect.
I know how to make French toast, mate, but cheers for that.
I was going to
I'm
say,
just
does
letting.
Kyle not know what French toast is? I feel like we're explaining something to
Gary
him.
just had a Shannon moment there.
No, no, no. I'm just explaining for any of the listeners that don't know how to make French toast.
Do you call it French toast or eggy bread? Obviously, you call it French toast, but Shannon gives it.
Oh, it's French toast. Eggy bread is like not a thing here. Like
I I would say
eggy
eggy
bread, I think
breads.
it's like soldiers, we call it as well. Like you
No,
dip
no,
bread into the
no.
egg.
Not anywhere close. You're in a different region completely. Not a chance. That's close.
Egg and soldiers, is that what it's called? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. But that's when you essentially make toast and you have like soft boiled eggs and you dip them into it. Like that's
Yeah.
so far away.
No, eggy bread, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Eggy bread is French toast, but is what posh people in London call it. I think.
I would refer to eggy bread as the French toast, but before it's cooked.
I'd agree there. Salmonella coming for you.
Salmonella. Let's the less said about salmonella, the
Again, more
better.
texture stuff.
You
Mm-mm.
ever downed a raw egg before?
No, I don't plan to.
Done it for an Instagram video. Sure, Shannon, you were there.
Oh yeah.
It's,
Ugh.
it's an experience,
I
but
actually have fear of eggs too. There's a lot of food I have fear of.
yeah. Hello and welcome to the Biofitness podcast or Biofit with Us podcast, whatever we're calling it now. Episode 101 or 2 or whatever we are at the moment. It's been a pleasure to see you. Thanks for Dave and Toby for the music. Bye bye.
If anybody can't tell, Kyle is in a bad way this morning. He's very
Mm.
sleep deprived, and it looks like me and Shannon are copping it. So let's go.
Let's go. Uh,
Let's catch him off guard. Like,
No, to be fair, it was, do you know what, just having a heavily pregnant wife, a sleep regressing son, and just, he's going through the terrible too. So even people say it about it, and you're like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. We've got a great wee guy. I mean, almost overnight. It happened before he turned two. It was about 2 months before he turned two. But I'm just like, you can't win. He just goes in tantrums. He's buzzing 1 minute, and then he'll just, whatever. I took him to the play park the other day, and he just pushed me away. He's like, no, get away from me. And he was trying to kill himself. He was trying to run up things, and when you tell him no, he's like, fuck off, mate. So you either let him kill himself, or he falls out with you, and it's a kind of tough decision to make. But at the same time, he's still alive at the moment. But I couldn't keep a Tamagotchi alive, so me keeping a child alive is an achievement so far.
Hell, I'm
I
impressed,
miss a
mate.
good Tamagotchi.
Shout out Tamagotchi. Gary decided to semi-rage bait us yesterday. Do I
I had
tell
a good time.
do I tell us what you done, Gary, or do I tell people listening what you done?
So yesterday, for a bit of fun, I tried some Zercher squats and I put into our group chat just asking opinions on Zercher squats. And because I know Mr. Science guy here likes to go deep. He said he wasn't going to go deep and he just gave me like a generic response. So I started fishing a wee bit and I started poking the bear slightly and pretended that I was disagreeing with what he was saying essentially. If anybody doesn't know what a Zercher squat is, you're essentially loading the barbell in your elbows, like in the crease of your elbows on your forearms and squatting. Quite an unnatural and pretty sore move if you don't use a pad or if you load the bar up very, very heavy. So yeah, I started poking the bear just saying, no, I disagree with you. I think it's good for X. I think it's good for Y. Shannon was doing her usual Shannon stuff and just missing the cues and no keeping up with the sarcasm. But yeah, Kyle went hard for about 10 minutes. And do you know what you do, Kyle? Do you know when I can tell that you're fucking worked up about something? You send a full paragraph in individual sentences.
Mate, yeah.
I'm like,
Or
oh,
the word nonsense just comes out and you're like, oh, here we go.
I was on
so
the
yeah.
laptop too, so I was rattling the keyboard. I was literally just bashing it, going, "You can have your opinion, but you're wrong."
That was good fun. And then once I sweetened them up with the Zercher squats, I then threw in a Zercher Jefferson curl, and that took things to the next level. So it was good. It was good fun. As I said, I just wanted to see how much I could get out of uh, both Kyle and Shannon. I got quite a lot. I got lots of satisfaction. Probably didn't help Kyle's frame of mind in that moment in time. But we're here. He's
And
still
me
alive.
just
I'm
being
still alive.
confused.
So yeah, Zercher squats. Opinions.
No
I
opinion.
still think, the good old goblin squat, whatever happened to just keeping it simple, huh?
Got the goblin squat.
Is that how it's goblin? Goblet? Goblin?
Oh, go on. You're wrong. Go on. Go on, Shannon.
Goblet.
There you go.
Goblin swat.
You could invent a goblin squat, to be fair. You could probably put it out on the internet and say it's the best exercise that you're missing and do a one-legged squat with a barbell on your elbows and go, this is
And
the
you got a growl or something.
what you need to start with is a negative hook and go, ladies, do you have a flat arse? This is the exercise that you're missing, and then doing it with elbows and one leg squats. You'll go viral and it'll be grand.
Amen. Parents, you want to learn how to pick up your kids. Mm.
Goblin squats.
Yeah. Are you a lesbian who wants to lose weight? Then this is what you're missing.
That seems to be the thing now. It's just like pick a very, very specific niche and
Oh,
just knuckle down on that.
Well, actually, there's two. That's the reason that today's topic actually is come to the fore is I got sent a. Was it? Oh, was it you guys that put it into the group chat? I can't remember. Could have been. I'll not take the credit away. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. There was a guy who was like, women with PCOS. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing like what is it, machine exercise. It should be dumbbell exercises instead.
Yeah.
Um, Nonsense, right? We're not going to go into not even going to we're not even going to go into that topic because like that's just absolute fucking nonsense. But then you do see on Instagram the likes of people going, oh, like lesbians if you're looking to lose weight, or like it all goes into this absolute. And my theory behind it is that AI is it's not going to wipe out good coaches because they'll use it as a tool, but see like just information like basic stuff. Poor coaches who only know information stuff are now fighting for their lives because they can't have anything else to offer, so they're trying to overcomplicate it, and I don't think that makes the fitness industry a better place. I actually think that we've gone so far right now that people are becoming more confused than ever because there's so much shite being put out there. And even when Gary kind of half baited me with the Zerch or Jefferson curl fucking deadlift, where for the MD, if you want to picture this, is essentially like a bent backed or flexed spine picking a bar up from the ground, but I'm purposely doing it with a flexed spine. So it's yeah, try to almost get your head as close to your knees as you can whilst you're picking up a barbell. Again, nonsense. But the point to that is a lot of people are now so petrified to do what the right exercise is, what's the wrong exercise, like how do I go to the gym? And I think it's not helping for a lot of people. So what we are going to do today is talk about barbells versus free weights versus machines and actually the pros and cons. Does that sound good, guys? We happy enough to fucking jump on the
Yeah.
journey? Yeah, Shannon, there you are. What a time to be alive.
I can be more positive than the two of you. I'm childless.
Just quickly before we dive into this topic, you were talking about the very specific niche people that we're seeing on Instagram. Have any of you seen the boy now that's coming out and saying, "Are you a gay man?" With yeah, the last ad that I seen was, "Are you a gay man with one strong arm?" And you know, I'll leave that. Yeah, I'll use your
Oh,
imagination as to what he's meaning there, right? And basically,
Gary,
what
hold on before you go further. He's clearly put into his reel that he's targeting certain people. He's definitely put that for the gays, and you've came up, mate. So that's on your algorithm for a
right,
reason.
yeah, on the bus, right,
You've been
on the
exposed,
bus.
mate.
Fuck. The reason I seen it is because somebody had stitched herself over it reacting to that ad. So there you go, get it up
good
you.
cover, good cover.
But basically, what he was saying was, because you have one strong arm as a gay man, use your imagination to stop doing barbell work, stop doing barbell overhead press, and do dumbbell shoulder press, right? But what he described as a dumbbell shoulder press with two at the same time was a unilateral movement. Start doing unilateral movements like this whilst pressing both dumbbells together. For anybody that doesn't know, unilateral movement is one side at a fucking time. So the guy is clearly trying to be smart with his niche, but also at the same time has no fucking clue what he's talking about. And that is the shit that we are dealing with on social fucking media. It is a mess.
I would actually say, because the correct terminology is bilateral, he probably just didn't want to bring bi into the LGBT community and fucking confuse things even
Because he
There
further.
needs
you
his
go.
niche.
He needs his niche, yeah. Do bilateral movements. That's him unfollowed from all the gays.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Right.
Cancelled over that.
I'm actually not
Anyway,
even going to take the lid off that topic because I feel like I'm going to get cancelled if I go any further down that. So yeah,
man, the way you're feeling right now, I'm just fucking poking the bear again here. I'm like, come on, Kyle, open that fucking can of worms. Not anyway. Let's talk about barbells versus free weights
Yes.
versus machines. To what's the word I'm looking for here? Fucking brain fart. Free weights. Is that when we say free weights, kettlebells, dumbbells? Just to
so
be clear.
free weights are something that I would deem as not attached to something else, so you can just pick it up and it can be independent. You're not stuck to a fixed movement. So for MD listen to be super clear about it, if you picked up a dumbbell from a rack, you can do a shoulder press, you can do a bench press, you can do a row, you can do a remaining deadlift, you can do a fucking reverse lunge. Whereas if you go to a machine, realistically it's only got one purpose, and the machine's purpose is usually a chest press or an overhead press, and it's very unlikely you'll be able to do anything else with it, albeit you do occasionally see some absolute fuck nugget trying to do it. But yeah, the point is, it's more versatile.
Perfect. So, what's better? Very broad question. Very hard to answer specifically.
It's like, again, I don't think you can answer it specifically because
Yeah.
there's an argument for each of them in terms of if you were brand spanking new straight off the couch and I was being super lazy and couldn't be arsed to try to find out how you can move and what your capabilities were, and I just wanted to get you building strength, muscle, and like movement patterns, I'd probably just fire you on machines, like just because it's the most straightforward way of, you can't really get it wrong. There's no real skill involved, and with that said, you can actually just express strength. I would also argue that like machine-based stuff is also probably the quickest, arguably the quickest, to do because you just sit down and put a pin into something, unless it's plate loaded, but you can put a pin into something. It's very easy just to go bish bash bosh on the machine, up the weights really quickly. You don't need to go searching for things. You don't need to put things back. I would say time efficiency, and for like again taking skill out of it, machines are the best. With that said, dumbbells probably more versatile, and there's an argument if you know what you're doing with them, you can also, like, again, that could be quicker still because you, like, for instance, you could superset like dumbbell press versus plus also like a row on the same bench, and again, if you're clever with it, you can like go straight into remaining deadlift. Like, there's, you could theoretically do a full body workout without actually moving whatsoever if you know, like, if you know what you're doing. The problem with that is there's a lot more skill involved, and I would also argue for most commercial gyms, dumbbells, you get to a certain point, it's hard to be progressive with them. Like if you're a, I'm gonna say, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna say what I'm saying. If you're a woman, because it often comes up, and you're like overhead pressing like 10 kilos with dumbbells, like the next jump up is 12 and a half in most gyms, and like going from 10 to 12 and a half is like a what, 25% increase. Like 25% increase is absolutely madness when you're putting a weight above your head, and then the next one above that's 15. So you're taking massive increments, whereas a machine, you could probably do it in smaller increments. The argument to having barbells, if you get efficient with them, is barbells are impressive, they're good to express strength, they're actually probably the easiest exercise to progressive overload because you can get 1.25s. The problem with barbells for most people is they're not proficient enough for them to stick to long term, and they're very taxing on your nervous system and energy. So if you're doing a lot of barbell work, there's a good chance that you're probably going to frazzle yourself a lot quicker.
And that's the episode.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, I
See
was
you
gonna
later.
say thanks for coming, guys. Like,
That was it. I 100% agree with everything you've just said, mate. For me personally, machines are, yep, better for beginners. Um, when you there's a lot there's a lot more skill involved when it comes to barbells, and it can be quite intimidating, especially for beginners. And if you're not actually working with a coach, then it can be you can hurt yourself very, very quick. I mean, you can hurt yourself with machines and with dumbbells as well, but when it comes to barbells, I think there's a whole lot of ego that seems to get involved, and that's when you need to be super patient at learning the move that you're trying to do, understanding what it's trying to do, understanding the parts of your body that you're actually trying to hit. But it's yeah, every single one of them, barbells, free weights, and machines are all great tools if used in the correct way. Um, for me personally, like if I'm structuring my own workouts, for example, I'll always start with the barbell movements first. They are the bigger movements, great for strength. I can progressively overload, but because they are quite taxing, I'm not going to have a full workout of barbells. And this is just me personally. So I'll do my big moves with barbells, bench press, deadlift, squat, overhead press. Then I'll move on to the dumbbells and do some accessory work, and then I'll probably finish on some isolated machine work like your leg extension, leg curl, lateral raises, etc. So if you like, you can use them all individually for their own reasons, but just make sure you are utilizing the what you enjoy more. Like if you don't enjoy barbells and you enjoy dumbbells and machines, do you have to use barbells? No. Is it going to help? Probably. But you don't have to force something that you don't enjoy just for the sake of doing it.
I was actually about to ask you, do you think barbells are essential? And you've just fucking, you've robbed the question and answered it already. So the kinetic waves there. But yeah, from my own experience, I'm like, I used to be super attached to barbell exercises. Like at one point, I was like, I couldn't see past them. And I was like, if you were my client, you are learning how to do barbell stuff. And I would still argue one-to-one PT, like realistically, you're like, the argument is you probably should be coaching people to be proficient in that, so I don't take any of that back. But do you need it? No. The argument for me is actually got in the best shape that I've been whilst not squatting at all. As soon as I took squatting out of my regime and just changed it to leg press, so I was like, technically, I still maintained strength and was in better shape doing it. That's not to say I'm correlating them both. It's just the energy expenditure that squats was causing was too much for the dieting phase that I was in. But why do you think people get confused in terms of like what to do in the first place then?
Um, Mostly because everything that they see on social media, watching other people doing what they're doing, maybe trying to emulate somebody that they enjoy watching. It could be an athlete, it could be a fucking fitfluencer, as much as I hate to say that. And they think they need to train like them to look like them, or train like them to have the same strength as them when it comes to lifts. There's so much conflicting advice that it can be confusing for beginners. I don't know. Did that answer your question?
It
Did
did,
I?
Shannon. You've got anything that you would add to that?
Jesus, I was on the fifth there because every single time I went to talk, you both answered exactly what I was thinking. I was like, right, well, I don't know what to bring to this table now. But yeah, I'd say it's just conflicting and all them fucking videos because people are just trying to get views and they're like, do this, this is the best exercise, drop these dumbbells, go for the barbells, don't do barbells. Like even I get confused sometimes with the amount of information out there. I'm just kind of like, what the fuck at this point? But another good thing that you didn't mention when it comes to machine work is injury as well. Like someone that's injured, it's not just for beginners. Sure, I'm doing mostly machine work at the moment since my with surgery. We can't really put too much pressure on my Bella.
Yeah, it's good for rehab. Definitely good for rehab, and it definitely helps with because most machines are pinned machines. If it's plate loaded, obviously it is different. But if you're using a pinned machine to help you through an injury or for a wee bit of rehab, um, fantastic as well. Leg extension was a fucking godsend for me when my knee was gammy. So, yeah, definitely good for working around an injury for rehab, as I was saying. Yeah, I agree with you,
Yeah.
Shannon.
Even when I broke my finger that time, like initially I thought I couldn't do anything because I was like, sure, you need your hands to do stuff. And I broke my finger. Kyle very much quickly fixed that for me and says, no, you can still do things. And I was like, okay, perfect. And we went into the gym and we worked out what works and what doesn't with the big splint on my finger. And yeah, there was no barbell work allowed at the time, but I actually still got in like pretty decent shape while injured at the time. It just meant I was giving everyone the fucking finger the whole time because it was my middle finger. So every time I was doing a lat pull down, it was like this.
To be fair, you don't need to do it anymore, Shannon. You still do it most of the time.
I know.
Um,
Should we talk
When
about the
words
pros and cons
escape
for?
me, that's all I do.
There you go. Should we talk about some pros and cons for each?
right then.
Hmm.
Let's
I
say
can contribute there. You basically just did the whole podcast in 10 minutes.
I know we fucking rallied through that. No, let's talk about pros and cons for each because that each individual piece of equipment in a gym has its place, and it's up to you to understand when and where and why to use that piece of equipment, especially if you have any sort of specific goals in mind. So we'll start with barbells. What is some of the benefits or the pros that you guys think barbells has when it comes to training?
You can progress with strength really quickly with it, like, and you can load more, which sounds fun and enjoyable if you're into that kind of thing.
Okay.
it sounds like Shannon's into that kind of thing.
I do like a bit of barbell work every now and again. It makes me feel big and strong.
I think it's like you can build confidence doing that. There is something quite, I don't know what to say, impressive about like if you can use a barbell and overhead press and squat and deadlift, it probably feels, and I hate using the word, the most functional of movements because you are picking things up from the ground, you are squatting, you are like pressing things away from you over your head and pulling things towards you with a barbell. So I think in terms of like instinctually, it probably will feel over time when you get stronger at it. It probably does have a really clear carryover. So I think from that point of view, when you start to feel that you get good at barbells, then there's like I would always make the argument for anybody. I always used to say this with PT clients when they came in. I was like, if I can get you good at squatting, overhead pressing, and deadlifting, there's not a movement you can't do. So I would argue that from a confidence point of view and a skill carryover, like the benefits of learning barbells are all confidence related and carryover.
100%.
Anything
Um,
you would add to that, Gaza?
yeah, if you're someone that's short in time, which me and Kyle are at the minute, we have a lot going on. Barbells can be very, very beneficial because, let's say, you only have half an hour to 45 minutes to give to each session. Barbells can come in handy because you can really overload your compound lifts, like your squats, like your deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, even bent over rows. And that means that you are hitting a full body workout in as few exercises as possible, which can be quite handy as well. A lot of people think you need to go in and absolutely destroy one muscle group in your body when it's not true at all. If you're trying to get a bit stronger, trying to get a bit fitter, a bit leaner, compound lifts are very, very important, and they do have a great carryover into everyday life. So barbells for your big compound lifts to save a bit of time as well if you are running low on time.
Do you have a particular favorite barbell movement?
That's a great fucking question. I'm a squatter all day long. Zercher
It could
squats
have been
actually.
something else if we didn't hear that right.
Zercher squats to be specific. No, I'm no. No, yeah, back squats. I absolutely love a back squat. I've got a love-hate relationship with deadlifts.
Shannon, I'm going to ask you, like, you tell us what yours is.
See, I don't particularly have one. I kind of go through the motions and it's kind of like whatever I'm doing really well in, I love that one for
Yeah.
that time period. And then once I stop progressing with it, I'm like, I hate you. I'm going to move on to something else now that I can go up with.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm actually quite similar to that. That's why I struggle to answer it. Like bench press is something that I've always been really good at. But I think because I've always been really good at it, whilst it's probably my favourite to do in the gym because it feels good. I think in terms of what I've had the best feelings doing, squatting probably because it's one of those things that like so many people struggle to squat, and when you get good at it and like you start to see the progressions with it, you're like, oh, do you know what? That feels really good to be good at it. But like similar to you, Shannon, like when you get to a point where like you start to see it progressing, 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 but then see if you pull back on it and like you're like, oh, actually that now feels hard and I can't lift what I used to. It's like it almost has the opposite effect, and it is rough. So that's an expectation thing, but I probably would say that deadlifting in terms of like because I've done it in competitions and stuff. It's like when you hit a really heavy deadlift that you're not sure that you can lift and you do it well. I think from that point of view, there's no better feeling than lifting a heavy object from the ground. I think it's again, it's the most. It's in terms of lifting in competitions, in terms like strongmen, even like they've always had the deadlift being the big thing. There's nothing better than and like just lifting something super heavy from the ground. And I think when I used to even like PT wise with clients and stuff, I'm like, if you ever want to build confidence with people and women, I think in particular, like see teaching them how to deadlift and starting to see them lifting like 40, 50, 60, 70 kilos, you start to realize like what an impact that can have. So answer deadlift, but I mean you ask me next week, I'll change my mind.
Is does trap bar count as deadlift?
Oh, I think we've had this conversation to an extent.
No.
Oh, Shannon,
No.
controversial. Right.
Why?
Is that not what we agreed the last time, that the carryover is easier in a trap bar than an actual deadlift?
Yeah,
I do
but
like trap bar deadlifts though. I
What,
quite enjoy them. Don't you, Milo?
Gary, what you were saying to
yeah,
Oh, give me a rationale.
because the definition of a deadlift is
The word deadlift.
lifting something heavy up off the floor to hip level, and then returning it back to the floor, and that is exactly what a trap bar does.
Okay.
The issue that I have with trap bar is if it's not done correctly and it's made more into a squat, then you're not getting the full hip hinge movement pattern. But if you can do it properly, even though it's loaded a bit differently. Plus,
Mm.
there's an argument to say it's actually more functional for everyday life because who's picking shopping bags up from in front of them? 9 times out of 10, you're picking shopping bags up from the side of you. But for the definition of what a deadlift is, then 100% a trap bar should count, in my opinion.
I think I've rage baited Gary there.
I'm kind of somewhere in between. I think for the majority of clients I have, the types of deadlifts that they do are trap bar deadlifts,
Mhm.
simply because it's more straightforward and more instinctive to be able to do. There's less skill factor involved. I think for the most part, you like it in terms of hinge movement, I would absolutely be happy for somebody for like 90% of people to progress with a trap bar deadlift. And I would like, in terms of like, if I was looking from a programming point of view, I'd be like, yeah, deadlift ticked off on that. However, where I do have a little bit of a different argument is if somebody's claiming to me that they've deadlifted
Yeah.
280 kilos and they send me a video and it's a trap bar deadlift, I'm like, we're not in the same realms of it's like for me it's like treadmill running versus like running on the road. Like it's whilst it technically counts as running, and for most people I'm like 100% I would rather you do that than anything else. But in terms of if you're telling me that you've hit a 5k PB on a treadmill, I'm like great, and that's great that you've done that, but is that transferable to outside? And if you're telling me you're stacking that up against fucking Paula Radcliffe, I'd be like it doesn't really count, and I need to keep that argument slightly separate. So great, 90% of people, 100%. But in terms of like, if you're going to put your numbers and you're using your numbers as a badge of honour to compare it, it's not comparable to someone who's straight bar deadlifting from the ground.
Yeah, fully agree.
Yeah.
100%. Right, dumbbells. What is. Oh, did we talk about the cons of barbells?
No, mate. So give us your one con, give us a con.
Um, there's a higher skill requirement involved to be able to utilize and use them safely and efficiently.
Agreed.
You are probably more prone to getting an injury than you would be from machines and dumbbells. Speaking from experience, I broke a finger.
Right.
I don't know. I've got two. I think like they're well, whilst they definitely are intimidating, I think some people can be put off by them because they don't come with instructions. You go to anything else and like you got a machine that pretty much shows you how to use it. There is an element of there is so much as you've both touched on that you can get wrong with it. But for me, actually, the biggest con is actually getting emotionally attached to it and like I can't seem to sometimes differentiate the fact that like I don't power lift anymore. And see when you've squatted like 230 and you've done it as a one-off like occasion, but see right now like putting 160 and 170 in my back and that feeling hard, I'm like I can't get my head around the fact that I'm like there is a wee part of my ego that goes, right, you need to give this a solid couple of weeks to get yourself back up to 200. And I'm like, I don't need to do that right now. But in my head, I'm going, "Ah, you're only a couple of weeks away from it. Fucking sort yourself out." And then, but when I hit 200, I'm like, oh, you're close to 210, 220, mate. Let's go 250. Like, I can't, out in my head, every session then becomes a, like, you versus a barbell. And I think that's rough. And I've coached quite a lot of people who are quite similar to that as well. And maybe
Yeah.
that's an us issue. But yeah, I was going to say, Shannon, that's an us issue. But
Us issue.
it is. It's rough. It's like it is. It's like anything else. I know I've compared it to running, and it's only because the running buzz is happening a wee bit right now. But it's like when people start running like PBs and like 5 and 10Ks and stuff like that, and they start to go. Every run starts to become. It's no longer about just actually going out and running. It becomes a. I wasn't able to keep that pace, and this was tougher than what I thought it was. And I think with barbells, it's so easy to start doing that and trying to force things that shouldn't, because that's where fugly things happen. That's where accidents happen when you start to try and force an ugly deadlift. It's like you're kidding yourself on if you're thinking that's like an RP8. It's like a fucking RP11. Like, don't be doing that. Death.
Yeah. Yeah. Really agree, man. It's hard not to get attached to your numbers, though, innit?
Still haven't mastered that myself, mate. just I remove it or do variations. I'm like, right, cool. I'm so emotionally attached to like a low bar back squat. I'm like, I'm either going to have to do high bar or front squat or whatever because I'm not emotionally attached to that at all. So, go on.
Should try Zercha.
Fucking moving on. So, dumbbells, free weights. What are the benefits, Shannon? Go on.
Benefits of dumbbells. It's a like you basically can progress pretty decently in it now. Again, I know we touched on the fact that like the jumps are kind of a bit bigger than what you'd get with the machine side of it all, like the 2.5 between each ones. I have seen dumbbells though, not in my gym in particular, that goes by like kg, and I thought that was pretty good, but obviously costs a lot of money as well for the gym to like buy every single kg in between, so that's probably why they go every 2.5 upwards. Um, Sometimes you can get more range of motion than you would with the machine because the machine's quite like in a stiff position. Um, like especially with shoulder press and that, like I find my gym there's a height. I don't know if it affects you guys because I'm 5 foot nothing, like, but I either have to bring the seat up high and have my feet dangle a bit and then try and press, or I have to bring the seat down really, really low so I can cat my feet on the ground. But that means I'm not getting the full range of motion. Then it's coming to like my eye level. It's very funny when I do chest flies because literally no matter what I do, I can't bring the seat down because then I can't touch the handles. So it's just my little legs dangling in the air as I chest fly.
Yeah, I actually think that in terms of like bench press, like I love a barbell bench press, but like see if all you were ever to do was barbell bench press, because I did for a while powerlifting, that's where injuries start to happen because you only get used to working your shoulders in one plane of motion. Like technically your pecs are responsible for bringing your arms inwards, and when a barbell, like as much as you're working a pec, like because it's stretching, you're not actually bringing it into its natural position. So like that's where like accessory work is massively helpful. So like anything, it's extremes. I would always used to make the argument I could get you like in shape, or sorry, relative shape, strength wise, if we were on a desert island and all we had was a squat rack and a barbell. But the argument to that is if all you ever do is like barbell work, is you're not going to work the full range of motion for some exercises or some movement patterns.
I would say like a dumbbell RDL, I get a better range of motion than I would with a barbell.
Yeah.
Find myself a little bit too stiff with a barbell, whereas I can actually get down a bit better.
I, Actually, just as a point to anybody listening, see if you're doing RDLs, can you please, 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 please stop doing them from the fucking floor. Like that goes for barbells, dumbbells, or whatever. Like, see when you've got dumbbells, put them on a bench or take them from the rack. Like, don't take them from the floor. That's so much wasted energy. And then see when barbell RDLs, like set up in a position where it's like mid thigh so that you're not actually having to pick up from the floor. Picking things up from the floor is very taxing. The last thing you need to do is do that. You're going to fucking like wasted energy.
Rach.
Thank you.
Yeah, just kind of expanding on what you said, kind of about the barbells limiting your range of motion and your movement. The dumbbells are definitely there's more natural movement with the dumbbells. You get more, you know, more comfortable movement in and around the joints. And man, see the stretch that you can get with dumbbells as well. I absolutely love bench pressing and incline bench pressing with dumbbells because I can fucking stretch those tits like and it just feels great. It feels fantastic. But yeah, I would say that dumbbells are much less intimidating than barbells as well. You can you can go into a gym if you're a beginner. You can go into a gym if you've got a wee plan in place. Find a wee quiet corner. Take 5 to 10 kilo dumbbells. Just grab a pair, whatever your program says, and then you can just chip away at a wee full body workout in the corner without bothering anybody, without getting in anybody's way. So I think dumbbells are an absolutely outstanding piece of equipment to use, no matter what your goal is.
I'm actually going to back you up on this as well. It's nothing worse than being in a busy gym and the things that you're meant to be going on are all taken and taken for a fair bit. I used to be part of a gym that's like, see if you want to do any pec flies on the pec machine, it's not happening because it's just constantly. It must be they had one pec fly machine and it was just used all the time. Not a pec on a person in the gym, so I don't know what was happening there, but yeah, the pec fly machine was busy. But knowing how to do it with a dumbbell very much helps sort that issue out because I think even looking at your program as well, there's so many times that I've been meant to be doing like a cable row and I'm like, cable row has been busy for the last whatever 15 minutes and there's somebody else just jumped on it. I'm like, do you know what? I can just do a single arm dumbbell row and you can like interchange it that way as well. So I think in terms of flexibility, it's good to be able to understand how to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's also good because you can identify your weaker side as well. Like with the barbell, you're almost like your stronger side would take over if you're doing a bench press, whereas if you're using dumbbells, you can kind of feel which side is might be on the weaker side.
Like the gay men with one strong arm.
Yeah.
Well, here's
I'm
a
looking for women that only have one strong arm who want to get the other arm stronger.
that's on my Tinder
Click the link
profile.
in my bio.
Oh, so many thoughts there. Yeah, stick that on your Tinder profile. Women who've got one strong arm. I was like, you want to sort out your other arm? I don't mind. You can sort that out.
I'll show you the ways.
I'll show you the ways. Yeah, it's all about balance.
Oh
Um,
my God.
Favorite dumbbell movement. Go.
wasn't done, Shannon. Hold on. Let me
Oh,
jump into the point first. I know that you're keen for your moment there, but for MD who is listening again, wee nugget here. A lot of people often say it's like, oh, the arm that like my strong arm's not my strong arm when it comes to like exercise. So like they'll do like a single arm row and they're like, oh, I'm right-handed, but my left arm's stronger. You'll often find that the arm that you're most dexterous with, so the one that you write with and the one that you throw a ball with, and as much as you might be more skillful for it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's your strongest arm as well. So there's a few life learning lessons that you'll find when it comes to that. Actually, I don't know if you've ever watched it back in the day, but I was a wee fan of Ronaldo, which we've talked about before. But they'd done the sports science program on him,
Mm-hmm.
and when they put
Aye.
things up, they were like, his left leg was actually stronger than his right leg, which fucking baffled everybody. But they're like, yeah, but sure, that's the one that he puts his standing weight in whilst he's kicking, so there's more force going through it, so it would make sense. It's whatever. But I'm sure if you put a gun to Ronaldo's head and say what one's your stronger leg, he'd be like, oh, my right leg. When in actual fact, the data would say that his left leg. So when he goes in and probably a leg press or whatever, if he's doing single legs, like and let's imagine there wasn't a skill element to it, he probably would push more with his left leg than with his right leg, even though it's
Yeah.
not the one that he predominantly kicks with. So there's your fucking science.
Yeah, it's yeah, skill and strength is obviously two separate things, but yeah, with Ronaldo, like he would spring off his left leg as well to jump fucking 2 meters high and shit.
Here's another thing. See for this is actually debunking the gay man with one strong arm. Just because it's the arm they're most dexterous with doesn't necessarily mean it's the one they're strongest with, particularly if they're sitting on the other one. So there you go, have that.
Right, favorite
Stop all
dumbbell
them
movement.
wanking references. Yay.
Oh,
The less said about your finger, the better.
oh wow. Oh wow. Uh, I'm gonna say dumbbell bench press just to get things moving.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that one right there, Shannon said there, but it's fine. We'll continue on. Shannon, what's yours?
um, a dumbbell RDL. I do like them.
Good shout. Good
I
shout.
just want to build me glutes and me hammies, so everything's kind of anything that will help me there. My
I'm gonna.
triceps are too big.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go dumbbell shoulder press, seated shoulder press. Fucking love it.
Why'd you look at me like that, Kyle?
I was
How
like,
do you know Kyle was looking at you? How do you know where your face is on Kyle's screen?
I don't know, but he pulled a face when I said my triceps were too big.
I looked because you can probably see it in my camera. The cat's on the bed behind me, and I was like, "Oh, he's just suddenly woke up," and I seen it out the corner of my eye, and had a wee jump scare because I didn't know he was
I
there. So
thought you were
Shannon,
giving me a side eye. I was like, they are. That's why the chat GPT robot couldn't tell that I had a bum, that my triceps were too big.
Oh, that's funny. I
if you ever
forgot about that.
if you ever want to be humbled, ask ChatGPT to learn a bit about yourself. You can put pictures in, but like Shannon recently also discovered that when you put stuff in terms of your writing style and like your personality, it will pick you apart. And don't know if Shannon was ready for some of the harsh truths that she got given.
Yeah.
It's funny. Um, anyway, machines. Let's talk about pros and cons rapido, and then we'll talk about our favourite exercise, and then jobs a good one.
Right. So Shannon,
Beginner friendly,
oh,
injury friendly. You can't physically fuck it up, really. I'm sure someone could, but it is very hard to do so. You can put up the weights really easily. Yeah.
I am going to challenge your statement about fucking it up, um, because I would say about 80% of the people in the gym that I go to fuck it up, and I don't know how. It astounds me how wrong people can get a machine that moves in one direction, and it has a photo on the machine of what body part it's supposed to work. Um, but I do agree that they are arguably safer than free weights, barbells. Great for injury prevention, great for rehab, great for re I Kyle, do you want to jump in here?
also to challenge the point, it's not even challenge the point, just wholeheartedly, you're wrong because
I know. I said out loud, I stuck with it with pride.
I worked in a private gym for, it was maybe 3 or 4 years and trained in the private gym. Then, like, I was almost, it's all, you get a false sense of reality in terms of what that actually looks like. So, as much as you're dealing with your clients and you're dealing with their issues, you forget what the general population move like. I remember the first week that I went back to a commercial gym. And I was literally looking around my head going, this can't be right. Like somebody, I was looking for a, like, what do you call it, you've been punked camera. Because I was like, there's no chance the amount of people that are doing things wrong right now. I think at any given time there was 5 or 6 of them. And I was like, this is horrific. Like you've got people that, like, even yesterday I was watching a guy doing like a single arm row. I mean, like he was turning his body like 90 degrees. Like it was, man, the girl in The Exorcist had less rotations than he did. And it was just like, it was moving. And I was like, what do you think you're doing there? And I was like, this is a machine that literally you've got to stay with your chest against the pad and you just pull back, but you're still managing to make an arse of this. Like you see so much, and that's even people just who are intentionally trying to do the right exercises. But I mean, there was a guy in, like, I know this isn't a separate, whatever, but there's a guy in the gym I went to who was just like pretending he was a ninja, and he was like every single exercise he was doing, he was like he was using the shoulder press as like an upside down leg press, and I'm going,
I can vouch this is a legit person.
people like
And you know
that
what?
exist, yeah,
Have you seen these guys online that use a leg extension to hit the lats?
mate.
Or the leg curl, sorry, to hit the lats?
See the issue with it. I mean, you had this. I seen the early days Instagram. I remember like seeing when there were like all the booty busting whatever.
Oh, you can make it a hip thrust.
See the amount of people that you would see, like again, hip thrusting with the leg extension machine, or you would see that are doing some form of frog squats in the abductor and stuff. I'm going. This is nonsense, like utter nonsense, but people are spouting it out there. So we have debunked the fact that you can get it wrong. It is less likely, however, it very much is a case where they do come with instructions. So like you should be able to just. I know this is tough for a lot of people. Stop for a wee second, read what it says, look at the pictures
If
on the
you
side,
can't read, look at the pictures like I do.
look at the pictures, and try and copy what they're doing. That is it.
I would I would say there's also an argument to be made for machines that because it requires kind of less stabilization, shall we say, it is a little bit safer and easier to work close to failure or an
Hmm.
RPE kind of 9, 10. So lots can go wrong when you do that with barbells. Lots can go wrong when you do it with dumbbells. But with machines, if you fail a lift, if you fail a rep, you're 9 times out of 10 you're safe because the machine's just going to go back in the one direction that it started. 2 seconds, Shannon, and the stack's going to touch. Yes, Shannon.
Well, I do recall a client in biofitness who was leg pressing once, and she did forget to put the safety up. And when I say 200 kg came down on top of her and folded her like a pretzel, so
Quite
I do take
impressive.
back my statement. You can fuck up sometimes.
I think that statement was an all timer, Shannon. Uh, I,
And look, I can admit when I fuck up because I'm a good person.
but we also look at, as much as we're looking at extreme examples there, that is few and far between. And actually, the fact that the leg press does actually have a safety catch on it, and that person probably got a wee bit too comfortable, or the opposite was probably too entrenched in what they were actually doing to put it on. Like that's where the issue stemmed from, rather than the actual machine itself.
Yeah.
Like if you put a car into the reverse rather than drive and you crash into the wall behind you, it's not necessarily the car's fault, is it? So it is the fact of like it does have more safety inbuilt in Gary. You're 100% right in the sense that like you can push intensity potentially a bit more with machines than anything else. Some of the cons, or one of the cons I have with machines, is you use it in one gym, it's completely different in another. So the way
hmm
that even if the weight was completely the same, let's just take a lat pull down. Let's say you were doing 50 on the machine, regardless if it's fucking 50 kilos, 50 pounds, whatever. Like let's say it's 50. You can go to a gym 10 minutes down the road and you can do 50, and it can feel completely different, even if the weight is technically the same, and that's all down to the leverages, the fulcrums, the cables that are in the machine. So unless it's exactly the same like brand and exactly the same machine and make and exactly the same cable tensions, and even within that there's issues, like you're very unlikely to be able to like find the same. You're very, if you're somebody who's traveling, this is where the issue arises. If you're somebody who travels, so I used to coach a pilot, and like every gym I go to is different. It's quite difficult to be
Yeah.
able to look at measuring, like specifically measuring, like outcomes when it comes to machines. When that, now I know it's few and far between, but if you are somebody who's traveling around a lot of gyms, that's an issue that comes up.
Yeah, for sure. I also think one of the cons is there's not as much carryover into, there's not as much functional carryover, shall we say, to everyday life.
Because
So
it's
yeah,
stiff.
some
It's
of
a
them,
stiff movement.
yes, some machines are very, very poorly designed. For example, the leg curl, the seated leg curl at my gym. I can't do it. I can't get it locked in tight enough to my legs. I'm sliding all about the place. I can't actually fully extend my legs without the stack touching. So it's just it's a mess of a machine. Um, so yeah, there is obviously pros and cons to each of the barbells, free weights, and machines. Shannon.
Another con, and this comes from a female perspective
Okay.
again. Most machines are built in the attention of male height and stuff. I know you can adjust it sometimes, but majority of the machines were based on the idea of males in the gym. So it's actually really hard to get like ones where you can adjust to a certain height, like a little short person like me, where you can still do the range of motion correctly, like the leg curl.
I'm
Yes,
going to
Kyle.
disagree and disagree strongly with you because that's an assumption that people actually have care about the machines that they're making in the first place. The majority of gym equipment is made by people who've never trained in their life. So you'll find it's not based on males, it's based on the fact that they're just putting something out there to try and replicate a movement. And you'll often find the limitations come not just with height, but come with the fact that what's it called, the J hooks are the size of a landing pad, the fact that there's about 10-inch gaps between like holes and things. It's not just that because like as a very average male, I find that most machines don't suit me either. So I would argue that it's just more so the fact that people who make machines for the most part, unless they're, I'd say like one of the better brands is like probably Precor. Like they do okay versions of machines, but a lot of them aren't like up to standards full stop. And it's just they're carbon copying things that they think would work for an average person, which isn't actually correct.
That actually makes me feel a lot better because I've had discussions with women where like they always just make the machines for men. Like we can't reach half this stuff.
No, yeah, I do like I can understand the point when it comes particularly to lat pull downs and stuff, but there also needs to be a point in the sense of it's not based on men, it's based on the fact of tension length. Like bring the if you bring the height of the what's it called, the handles down, the problem is by like if that's solo, like realistically there's not enough tension on the thing, so you're not actually you're kind of getting rid of the whole point of the exercise. So it does need to be at a certain height, but that's not based on male heights. That's just based on the fact that they need some sort of tension length. But that's more so where they come from. They're literally going, I'm putting this machine out and we're just hoping for the best that it works. But most machines aren't based on anything. You'll see this was again, like for instance, like a chest press machine. My issue with a chest press machine is like the whole point of a chest press machine is so that like you need to have like flexion and extension or a stretch on the pec. Most chest press machines, like I get to the point where I'm like my elbows aren't even like they're not even parallel. Like it's not touching my chest. There's no stretch on my pec. So the problem with that is it's more of a tricep extension than it is actually like a chest press. And again, I can make the argument going, well, that's not based on me. It's just the fact it's fucking made by a person who's never actually done a bench press or understands what it needs to be. They just need something that replicates a pressing movement. So they're like, oh, that must work.
Yeah, I fully agree with the
Every
whole
day's
kind
a
of.
school day.
I fully agree with the range of motion shit. Right, let's summarise.
You have to say what your favorite machine is.
Oh fuck.
Shannon's playing a
Right.
game that we didn't know about, but here we go.
My
Yeah,
What?
my
I've decided
apologies.
this game.
My apologies. Right, I'll go last if you don't mind. Shannon, you if you get one in the tank.
Yeah, and you're gonna hate it, but I love it. It's the Smith machine split squats. I love the Smith machine for my split squats.
Fair enough. I would say leg press simply because the function of it for me is it takes out a squat for me, or I can actually push strength without having to worry about a squat. There was another one I was thinking of, or hamstring curl simply because the hamstring, that part of the hamstring, is something that can't be targeted by any other exercise. So hamstring.
Lying or seated.
I prefer a lying hamstring curl, but a seated hamstring curl technically works more muscle activation. So I will be honest, I always do it like a lying where I can because it feels better for me.
Yeah. Mine's is a toss up between leg curl when I find a good one. I do lying leg curl in the gym that I go to, but in the gym that I work in, we have a seated leg curl and it is
I
oh, it's
like a seated
gorgeous.
one.
It's gorgeous. I'm fucking locked in. I'm tight. Oh, the stretch I get, fantastic. So it's a toss up between that and this one might surprise you, but I like it just because how it feels. A machine seated dip,
A machine seated dip.
tricep extension
Okay, I'm
essentially.
visualizing it now.
So you're leaning forward because I can't do dips
On their
because
own. It gives you like the help to do it, isn't it?
no. So it's I can't do dips because of my ridiculous movement in my shoulders. Like I go deep and it hurts. The machine seated dip is you're sitting on a seat, feet on the floor, leaning like the back of the seat's slightly tilted forward, so you're leaning forward, and it's just two little handles that you hold and you push down. It's a stack machine. I'll send you a video, but that's a toss up because it gives me a fucking amazing tricep pump.
So Shannon, if you think about a dip is you pushing yourself away from the handles,
Hmm.
whereas on this machine, the tension is you're pushing the handles away from yourself.
Yes.
Okay, I'm following now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you stay seated, but it's the handles that move.
So the heavier you
Yes,
load
yes,
it,
I now follow.
the tension on the handles will increase.
I
Yeah,
had visualized, them like dip machines to help you
yeah, yeah,
Assisted
yeah.
dip,
do
yeah.
dips where like you pin a weight and everything. I'm like, I don't even
Yeah.
like them because I
No,
can't fucking dip to save my life.
I would say it's that just because I like how it makes my triceps feel afterwards. I feel strong.
Real strong.
I'm so annoyed that I can't do dips because of my ridiculous shoulder mobility. There's just no stability in there. I mean, I just don't have the patience to build them up if I'm being perfectly honest with you.
Maybe that's why I'm not good at dips either then.
Just the movement is not stable, it's sore, it's uncomfortable. But anyway,
You have
carry
to
on. I
join
seen you
it. Nina.
checking the time there. You need
Yeah,
to
I was
head
to go
north.
6 minutes ago, but so with all that, I'm glad that we have got all of our favourite exercises out the way. To summarise, go quick round table. Gary, give us a summary, pal.
Utilize barbells, free weights, and machine weights for your workouts. If you are a beginner, start with free weights and then advance onto dumbbells, and then you can go into barbells. There is pros and cons to everything, so just be careful if you're using machines, if you're using dumbbells, if you're using free weight barbells. Make sure you either watch a video or ask somebody for a wee bit of help so you are safe in doing so. But yes, you want to be making sure that when you go in, you are trying to progressively overload your lifts so you can get stronger, so you can build muscle, so you can have more stability, and so you can have a better fucking quality of life.
Shannon?
Yeah.
Cool.
He just blanked.
Right, well, I don't have time to let you back in, so you don't need the perfect training plan. I think with that, it's like it's not a personality trait to be able to do barbells. They're tools rather than anything else. I think from the perspective of like hardcore training, it's not something that's typically needed. Like you need a program that you can stick to that's enjoyable, that allows time. One of the things we didn't touch on barbells is how difficult, how long sometimes it takes to load a barbell. Like the stronger you get, the bigger the issues. You need to find plates, you need to find clips, you need to find everything else. You need something that's time effective. And as much as barbells for me are enjoyable, in this stage of life, they're not as time efficient for me as I can. I still have a few in, but it's not necessarily something that we do all the time.
Who the fuck's playing
Yeah,
tunes?
that was a fucking YouTube video that just started playing on my laptop there, and my microphone is sitting right next to the speaker of the laptop.
Thanks to Dave and Toby for the music, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye bye.